Imagine, if you will, a world where philosophy is no longer a realm of grandiose speculation or cryptic metaphysics, but a discipline as precise and unyielding as mathematics, as grounded in reality as the natural sciences. This was the dream of the logical positivists, a dream born in the crucible of scientific revolution and modernity's disillusionment with the old gods of metaphysics and dogma. Today, we will walk the path of logical positivism, exploring its ambition to remake philosophy, its rigorous principles, its breathtaking implications, and its eventual unraveling. Alongside it, we will encounter another path, a darker and more dangerous one, blazed by Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche, who stared into the abyss of meaningless and demanded not precision but creation, not clarity but life affirmation. Logical positivism and Nietzsche are two poles of modern thought. Together they frame the central question of our time. In the absence of absolute truths, how do we make sense of the world? Our story begins in the aftermath of the 19th century, a time of seismic shifts in knowledge. The world had witnessed the triumphs of science, Darwin's evolutionary theory, Einstein's theory of relativity, and the quantum revolutions that defied common sense. In philosophy, the advent of formal logic through Frege, Russell, and Whitehead brought the promise of transforming human thought into a precise, calculable system. Against this backdrop, a group of thinkers in Vienna known as the Vienna Circle came together in the 1920s. Their leader, Moritz Schlick, declared, "Philosophy is not about propounding ultimate truths, but clarifying the meaning of what we say." Their mission was audacious, to strip philosophy of its metaphysical excesses and align it with the methods of science. No more speculation about the absolute, no more musings about the nature of being. Instead, philosophy would become a tool to analyze language, clarify concepts, and provide a logical framework for scientific inquiry. The Vienna Circle included luminaries like Rudolf Carnap, Otto Neurath, and later A.J. Ayer, who brought their ideas to the English-speaking world. But their spiritual guide was Ludwig Wittgenstein, whose Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus, that was a mouthful, offered a vision of language as the boundary of reality. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent. This sentence encapsulates the essence of logical positivism. To speak meaningfully is to speak of what can be verified. Anything else, metaphysics, theology, even grand ethical systems, are mere noise. At the heart of logical positivism lies the verification principle. This principle declares, a statement is meaningful only if it is either empirically verifiable or analytically true. So let's break this down. Analytic truths are true by definition. Examples include mathematical statements like 2 plus 2 equals 4, or logical tautologies like all bachelors are unmarried. Synthetic truths are verifiable through observation. For example, the sun rises in the east can be confirmed by empirical evidence. But what about statements like God exists or the universe has a purpose? These, the logical positivists claim, are neither analytical nor are they synthetic. They cannot be verified, nor are they tautologically true. Such statements are not false, they're meaningless. They belong to a realm of poetry or emotional expression, not rational discourse. Rudolf Carnap famously said, "In the domain of metaphysics, all disputes turn out to be disputes about language." In other words, metaphysical debates, whether about the nature of the soul or the essence of reality, are not profound insights into the universe, but linguistic confusions. This is logical positivism's first great triumph, the demystification of philosophy. By rejecting metaphysics, they sought to free philosophy from centuries of fruitless speculation. Logical positivism's true passion was the philosophy of science. They saw science as humanity's crowning achievement, a method for uncovering the truths of the world. Three key ideas defined their philosophy of science. So the first of those key ideas is reductionism. All scientific theories should be reducible to basic observable phenomena. For example, the theory of electrons must ultimately be grounded in observable effects like deflected beams or changes in current. The second key idea is the unity of science. So the logical positivists envisioned a single scientific language, uniting all disciplines under one logical framework. Whether you're describing the motion of planets or the behavior of neurons, the same principles of verification and empirical grounding should apply. And the third sort of key idea is demarcation. Logical positivists sought to distinguish science from pseudoscience. For them, only theories that could be tested and verified were scientific. Astrology, psychoanalysis, and speculative metaphysics all fail this test. However, cracks began to appear in their vision. What of the unobservable entities in science, quarks, space-time, black holes, and so on? These are central to modern physics, but cannot be directly observed. Does that make them meaningless? This tension was exposed by critics like Karl Popper, who argued that falsifiability, the ability to prove a theory wrong, was a better criterion for science than verification. He said, "Science does not proceed by proving theories, but by refuting them." Logical positivists also believed that many philosophical problems arose from misunderstandings about language. By analysing language rigorously, they hoped to dissolve pseudo-problems. Central to this effort was the analytic-synthetic distinction. So analytic statements, as I said before, are true by virtue of their meaning, such as all triangles have three sides, and synthetic statements are true or false based on empirical observations. So this distinction was foundational until Quine's landmark essay, Two Dogmas of Empiricism, came along and basically sort of dismantled the idea. Quine argued that no statement is purely analytic or purely synthetic. Even definitions like bachelor means unmarried man are influenced by cultural and empirical factors. Language, Quine claimed, is a web of interconnected beliefs with no sharp boundary between logic and experience. Quine's critique shattered the analytic-synthetic distinction, and with it, the logical positivists' foundation for meaning. Logical positivism's implications for ethics were equally stark. According to the verification principle, moral statements like murder is wrong are not empirically verifiable. Thus, they cannot be objectively true. Instead, such statements express emotions or commands, a view known as emotivism. H.A. Ayer explained, "The presence of an ethical symbol in a proposition adds nothing to its factual content. It is as if I had written, 'You stole that money,' and put an exclamation mark after it." In this view, murder is wrong means essentially boo to murder. And ethical debates are not about truth, but about persuasion. So here, logical positivism actually resonates with Nietzsche's critique of morality. Nietzsche saw traditional ethics as a construct, a slave morality, as he calls it, imposed by the weak to constrain the strong. But where logical positivists dismissed morality as emotional expression, Nietzsche saw it as a battleground for power. He declared, "You have your way, I have my way. As for the right way, it does not exist." Where logical positivism strips morality of its grandeur, Nietzsche challenges us to create new values, a task fraught with existential peril. By the mid-20th century, logical positivism was really quite, it was in trouble, it was unraveling. And there's a few sort of reasons for that. So the first is the verification principle's self-refutation. The principle itself, a statement is meaningful only if it can be verified, cannot be empirically verified. So there's some irony there. And the second issue was the challenges from science. So figures like Thomas Kuhn revealed that science is not a linear accumulation of facts, but a series of paradigm shifts, where old frameworks collapse under anomalies. And the third big issue that led to the unraveling of logical positivism was Quine's linguistic revolution. By undermining the analytic-synthetic distinction, Quine dissolved the foundation of logical positivism's theory of meaning. And yet, logical positivism left a profound legacy. It revolutionized the philosophy of science, emphasizing clarity, rigor, and empirical grounding. And it also shaped modern analytic philosophy, laying the groundwork for the linguistic term. So now let's contrast logical positivism with Nietzsche. Both reject metaphysics, but they do so in opposite ways, which is what makes it an interesting comparison. So logical positivists dismiss metaphysical claims as meaningless, focusing instead on empirical facts. Nietzsche sees metaphysics as a human construct, a tool for domination and meaning-making. Logical positivism seeks meaning through reduction, breaking knowledge into observable parts. Nietzsche seeks meaning through creation, embracing the chaos of existence. He warns, "He who fights with monsters should see to it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you." And I think we've probably all heard that phrase before, especially that last sentence, if you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. It's quite commonly quoted, that one, and it's certainly a heavy quote, and it has a lot of baggage that it brings along with it. So logical positivism turned away from the abyss, retreating into the safety of empirical verification. Nietzsche demands that we stare into it, confront the void, and forge new values. So where does all of this leave us? Logical positivism offers clarity, but falters in the face of existential questions. Nietzsche offers a vision of creativity, but demands the courage to live without certainty. As we grapple with the crises of our age, AI, climate change, genetic engineering, and so on, we must navigate between these poles. We must seek the precision of science while embracing the creative, value-driven essence of humanity. So, thank you for listening. This brief video was an exploration of logical positivism, and I have attempted to offer up some comparisons. I used Nietzsche as a comparison because they have something in common, that rejection of metaphysics, but the way they do that is radically different and has wildly different sort of implications for each. So I thought they were a good contrast to one another. So if you have enjoyed the video, then please do all the YouTube things, like the videos, subscribe to the channel and such things. And if you have any questions, please jump in the comments and let me know, and I will do my very best to answer them. And if you believe that I've said something wrong or maybe misunderstood something, then please let me know, because learning is, after all, a collaborative experience, and if nobody tells me I'm wrong, I just won't know, and I will continue on incorrectly. So if I am wrong, jump in the comments, yell at me, tell me I'm stupid, explain why I'm wrong, and you know, we all benefit from the sharing of knowledge. So thank you very much. As I say, I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.